Many of you have said to me, I saw you on the news last night. I have not seen me on the news yet. I will, we will certainly look it up after Shabbat. But I spent yesterday afternoon at 3181 Bayview, where again we had an incident, an anti-Semitic incident, where mezuzot were taken from the doorways of some of the residents. It is an interesting building, 3181. It is very multicultural. It is a place where people speak to each other. It was not my first trip to that building. I have a friend who lives in that building, and so I'm aware of the environment that they have created, where people talk to each other in the elevator, where people respect each other's traditions. And so it was particularly shocking to receive a call to say, this happened today. Can you come to the building tomorrow and speak with the residents? In our Parsha, Judah steps forward to speak into Joseph's ear. He's worried about his brother. Joseph has asked, are there any more children? Are there any more sons? Does your father have others? And Judah has to share, my father is old. We have another brother. He's a little scared, and rightfully so. It's understandable. He says, Benjamin's too young, he's vulnerable, he can't leave our father depends on him. And eventually, of course we know the story, Benjamin is brought to Egypt, the cup gets placed in Benjamin's sack, Joseph creates this whole facade in order to see how his brothers will react. And here we have Judah saying, you can't take him. You have to take me instead. You can't take him. I have to protect him. My father can't take the loss of Benjamin. And Joseph is ready to, in this moment, having seen his brother defend Benjamin, is ready to tell them who he is, overcome with emotion. But before he's ready to say, I'm your brother, before he's ready for that emotion to be seen, he sends all of his servants, who clearly are in on the secret. He sends them out of the room that they shouldn't see how upset, how emotional he is in this moment. When I arrived at 3181 Bayview, the press were, of course, already outside the building. Went in, and there were questions over whether or not they'd be let in. It was up to the residents. Certainly wasn't my decision. It wasn't, UJA wasn't going to make the decision for the people who were there. And some of the residents said, why should we let the outside world see what we're going through? Why are the press here? Why should they see us in this moment? But in the end, the press was allowed in because a majority of people said, no, we have to make sure that people hear us. It wasn't fear that was speaking yesterday. There was anger. There was certainly sadness. People had been violated and felt that the sanctity of their homes had been taken from them, but they were speaking up. It's something we all can learn from. We have, as a community, been insular and private. When after October 7th, we had a rally first at Mel Lastman Square, but then We had a series of rallies, there were community events, they all happened indoors. On the one hand, concerns for security affected this. On the other hand, the idea that I don't want others to see what we're going through. It's time that people understood what we're going through as Canadians. And I respect the residents who said the press must come in, who said we will speak with all of our elected officials, and to the residents who stood up at the end of the program and spoke out to their fellow neighbors, to the community, and who have volunteered to speak out to certainly our mayor, our premier, and our prime minister, and anyone else who needs to hear. I said this last week, I've said it before. When we stay inside our homes, it is not the answer. We need to engage even with those who will not react. We know there are elected officials. I could tell you yesterday, we had the MPP and we had the city councilor there. It is possible that the MP is away. It is Christmas week. I understand that. I haven't checked yet. But it's also possible that that person did not come because he does not want to hear. Even those who don't want to hear must hear our voices. We must write, we must call, we must speak out. We must say that we have a proud history here in Canada, that we are a community that is here to stay, and we are entitled to all of the safety, to all of the rights and freedoms that we speak about every week in the prayer for our country. We've done it before. As I was speaking to the reporter from the CBC, who is Jewish, who shared with me that he does not share much of the policy, of the attitude that drives the policy at the CBC. He shared that it was not that long ago that there were signs in stores, in clubs, in different places that said, no dogs, no Jews. It was not that long ago that none was too many. We made a difference working with our allies by speaking up, by speaking out, by showing that we are not afraid, but by sharing that emotion that we are determined to be here and we can change it again. I hope, I pray that in 2026 it will be a year of activity, engagement, activism, and a year of change leading, Baruch Hashem, to peace.